No
Right.
dramas, sir.
We are live. But obviously, just doing the test. Oh, who's that? Is that Rowan Tungate doing some funky
Nope,
move? No, it's
that's
Charlie, right?
it's not even that. It's
It's
my man to watch. That
Eric Riss. Oh yeah, the big
Eric
ER on his
Riss.
back.
I mean, that kind of gives it away a little bit,
I
doesn't
mean,
it?
what were you looking at his bum for?
I can't really say the answer because we're live.
Doing some funky move. No, it's Charlie, right?
It's not even that. It's my man to watch. That
Eric Riss. Oh yeah, the big ER on his back.
I mean, that kind of.
Yeah, it sounds fine, mush.
Sweet. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and whatever you want to identify as in 2024. Welcome back to Shoot Some Shale, powered by D&D Media, also known as Oxford Speedway Radio, as we return to Sandy Lane this evening with the Oxford Spires host the Ipswich Witches in a Row Motor Royal Premiership Round 2 clash. By jolly, that was a mouthful. And this evening, I'm joined by Mr. Dylan Hodgetts. Dylan, how are we, mush?
Yeah, we're all good, man. Looking forward to this one. Should be good. It's nice to be back at our usual place of Sandy Lane. We've done a few from here. Although looking at the forecast all day, I did not think we were going to be on tonight. To be honest with you.
No, neither did I, to be honest. But yeah, looking at the track walk that we've got on our screens now, the track looks in pretty decent condition.
Yeah, they've done really well with it. I know it's been tyre packed in to take some rain that was expected. It's not quite come as it was expected to, and they've actually been watering the track as we've seen in the last few minutes.
That I can confirm. Yeah, so been a busy. Well, it hasn't been a busy day. Sorry, but no, it's been a while since we've last done one, and we could have a potential one tomorrow. News coming soon, maybe.
Possibly, depending on what
Possibly.
happens at Scunny and whether
The
the forecast for
depend
Redcar is right.
depends on weather.
Yeah,
So
basically.
yeah.
But there's a
So
potential for one tomorrow as well.
so keep your eyes peeled on social media, and if there is one tomorrow, we will post it.
And that'll be our last one for at least a week.
How are you lovely people going to live without us for a week?
Whilst we've got Adam Ronan and Lewis Kerr doing the track walk, should we have a look at the teams, Mush?
Oh, go on then.
They should be coming up on the screen any second now.
So I shall run us down the Spires of Oxford tonight, and they line up as follows. I'm just waiting for the graphic to come on the YouTube at the minute, but I'm sure it'll come up soon. Just like that, it's turned up. Wow, what a bad! So for the Spires, then at number 1 is Rowan Tungate, been a very consistent rider in the Premiership this year. At number 2, that is Charles Wright. Riding at number 3, Lewis Kerr. Riding at number 4, Magic Yanofsky, who's got 2 helmets tonight, may we say. Riding at number 5, he ruins British Speedway. He ruined Kyle's testimonial last night. That's Chris Harris, who no doubt is bound to ruin tonight. Eric Riss rides at number 6, and at number 7, Ashton Bowden, not Gowden.
Man to watch for the Spires.
Eric Riss, having a rider of that caliber down at reserve should be illegal. This guy's won long track GPs. He's raced against the top, and yeah, with him down at reserve, that's quite something. And I could possibly see him getting a full quota of 7 rides tonight.
I'm going to go for Lewis Kerr. We obviously watched him at Plymouth on Tuesday, and he looked on it. To be fair, he's come back. Started to get his fitness back now after missing a little bit of time with injury. But it's looking like he's starting to get back up to speed, and I think he'll be flying tonight. Now, for the Ipswich Witches, they operate rider replacement at number 1 for the injured Jason Doyle. Dan Thompson rides at number 2. It's Adam Ellis at 3. Bellevue's Norwick Bladorn guests at number 4 for Danny King, who's hoping to make his comeback tomorrow night for Redcar. Emil Sarvudanov goes at 5, Keenan Rue at 6, and Jordan Jenkins goes at number 7. Palmer, your Ipswich man to watch.
I'm going to get called biased here, but sorry, Adam Ellis. I think he's coming into a handy bit of form now, and I think he needs this little bit of extra confidence he's got with riding with the Witches, and hopefully, I believe he could be a big point scorer this evening. Yourself?
I'm going to go for Dan Thompson. We've seen him at Oxford a few times this season, including on watch-alongs we've done, and he's very, very impressive around that track. And I know it's going to be a little bit different tonight to what he's used to, with it being packed in for some rain. But Dan's a rider that can gate, and if he can ride even half as good as he has here so far this season, I think he could bag himself a few points. And Dan will always, apart from Heat 8, have the rider replacement with him, so he could be in for a vital role tonight.
Very much so, sir. Very much so. And Ipswich as well, the only team in the Premiership this year to come to Sandy Lane and actually win. So, that's a big thing for Oxford, just to motivate them a little bit more for tonight.
Yeah, they're going to want to put one over the Witches, who have already beaten them there. No team likes to lose at home. They've been very shrewd with getting, I think, Norbert Bladorn to guest. He was fantastic for Ipswich at Perry Bar the other week, and when they can use him, they'll get him in. I think rider replacement for Doyley potentially weakens Ipswich a bit, but you've got riders like Jordan Jenkins in that team that know this place well, having raced and still currently racing for their championship team, who are at Scunny tomorrow night, supposed to be at least.
Well, weather permitting, I'll be very surprised if we're on. But you never know. Forecast will probably change again in the morning.
And
Um,
we can just point out tonight it'll be just us two. Alan was penciled in to be our analyst for the Leicester and Kings Lynn meeting, but that meeting was called off this morning due to the forecast. If Leicester has had the weather that we've had just a few miles away, I think it could have gone ahead, but the forecast for today has looked really bad, and I don't blame Leicester for calling off. It was either, Leicester were going to call off early and it maybe not go to plan, or Oxford were going to leave it till the very, very last minute and, potentially look silly. But it looks like we are going to go racing. Track looks in good nick.
I mean, it is 27 past. We've got another 3 minutes yet to leave, calling this off till the last minute. I have heard a bit of an update on Danny King. He's going up to Redcar tomorrow during the day to have a practice skid, and if his hand feels all right, he says he'll race, and if not, then I think Ipswich are going with your friend and mine, rider replacement.
What a guy.
Absolute heroes rider replacement. Go give him a follow on Twitter.
What a fella.
So before we kick off with heat number 1, let me just have a little look on the old.
We do actually have the winner of the coin toss. Oxford won the toss and chose to go for gates in 15, and Ipswich have gone for 1 and 3 in heat 1.
Involvement. Emil Seyfert looks so different without an hat on.
He looks so young without a hat on.
I mean, he's not a very old chap. I don't think he's quite.
He's been around for some time though, isn't he? So you'd be forgiven for thinking he's older than he is. And Emil Seyfert is the rider replacement, as I think we expected.
I don't think he's quite pushing on 40, but I remember when he was like 19 in the GPs.
And scrapping with Scott Nichols.
Good times. best Cardiff moment I've ever seen. 5. Absolute hero there in the pits with Keenan and Rue there in big Matty Marson.
What a guy. Everyone loves a bit of Matty Marson.
Certainly Ryan Anderson does, we know that much.
And we've noticed this before, but there's a real togetherness with this Ipswich team. Obviously, you haven't been to Sheffield this season when Ipswich have been there, but I saw them firsthand the other week, and there's a real tight-knit feeling, even with the guests. They're made to feel part of the team, and it's that the team spirit can go a long way.
It has, and this, from what obviously I've seen on the old telebox, BSN, and live streams and everything, this Ipswich team spirit gives me Scunny vibes in a way.
Yeah.
Every single one of them are mates, and they're not afraid to help each other out and talk to each other, and that is ultimately the key to a successful team.
And as we've just touched on there, Emil Seyfert takes the road replacement in 8-1. Not surprised by that. You're obviously going to want one of your big hitters out. If Doyley missing, I think it just makes sense to put Emil out in heat 1 with him having to wait till heat 4 otherwise.
Yeah, 100%. And even if he doesn't get off to the best of starts in this one, he's got time then, hasn't he, to make any necessary changes that he needs to make to the bike to go and win the rest of his races.
And just before we came live, I said to you this could be the quickest watch along we've ever done, because this could be rushed through with rain impending again, potentially.
Weather looks fine.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. But at least we're on. We're here. We've got some speedway. So and
We're here and there's a
riders are
bike
coming
coming.
round at 7:30. Now that does not happen often.
They've not left it till the last minute to call it off ahead.
And they've not done other clubs do, and parade at 7:30 and start at 7:45. 7:30 is tapes up, and 7:30 the riders are coming round. Well, 7:31 now, so they lied to us.
Yeah, with us at Scunny we like to stick to our timings, so we have our parade at 7:25, and the riders are coming out for each one at 7:28 when the 2 minutes goes on, and we're at home at 8:30.
And obviously, as we always say, we can't share the action tonight because of copyright reasons. If you do want to watch the meeting, it's included in the Premiership pass for the season on BSN, or you can buy it as a one-off match pass for $12.99.
Absolute bargain.
So the lineup for heat number 1 going off the inside gate in yellow for the Witches is Dan Thompson, gate 2 in blue Charles Wright, gate 3 in white taking the rider replacement is Emil Sarvudinov, and off the outside in red it's Rowan Tungate.
Yes, it is.
Dan back to his usual job tonight of calling the action because he's miles better than I am, and yeah, we've got Dan doing his job.
Thanks for having me back, mate.
Thanks for turning up to do your job tonight. It's much appreciated.
No dramas, so the start marshal walks away then. For heat number 1, it's a solid start for Charles right there off gate number 2. Now, could Emil Saifutinoff do it as he goes wide? Tungate goes wider. Thompson up the inside of Tungate. Now, when Tungate does a 360, he's binned it. And he just wants to have a little lie down there on the track, make sure the air fences are working nicely. But the race has been stopped there. He could have got up from that.
Yeah, Tungate went in really hot there, almost two-wheeled it in, nearly ran into his teammate. I don't think the track played any part in that, to be honest. I think Tungate just went in a bit too hot. Dan Thompson was on the inside, but nowhere near him. And I'd expect to see the rider in red disqualified for that.
Rowan there just looking like he's just been given a salad for tea.
He did land quite hard on his front, so it may be just a touch windy, dear.
There is always that possibility, and Chris Harris, the winner of the Dash for Cash thing at Sheffield yesterday, going over and checking on his teammate.
And Bomber actually elected to split the winnings with the other 3 riders in the race, which was nice of him.
What a nice gesture. I don't think the other 3 would have done that.
Those handlebars look a little bit bent, and Dan Thompson will get a bit of a reprieve there because he missed the start, and he'll be hoping to make a better one this time. Emil, we thought, had made it, and then just went a bit too wide. There's nothing in the middle of the track at this early stage, and Rowan had just come past both of the Witches as he decided to fall.
But he nailed that start.
That was perfect start, yeah. Yeah, he had to get off there. He was about to run into his teammate. I'd expect to see Tungate disqualified for that.
It wasn't the first bend, so I can't disagree with you there, sir.
Sometimes you see refs allow a little bit of leniency for taking track conditions into consideration, but I don't think there's anything to consider here.
No, it's not to do with the track. It was his own fault that he come off, and he's pointing to something at the track.
Nothing wrong with it.
Then he pointed back to the air fence.
Just showing him where he just fell.
You know, what is it? The hokey cokey come out of shape here and fall off there. Do the hokey cokey and we turn around.
No points for Tungate in Heat 1.
No.
And Tungate speaking to the track staff. Is that Jamie Corner?
I mean, that would make sense because Jamie is the promoter at Oxford.
May not, I don't know, it might not be, I don't know.
It does look like him.
It does, doesn't it? It's very brave, him and Hutty both wearing shorts.
I mean, it's not really been shorts weather, has it? But
it's bloody freezing today. Got 2 people in the chat. If you are watching along, feel free to drop a message and keep us company, and we'll have a chinwag. And Rowan Tungate has been disqualified. Charles Wright will be open. He can nail that start again because he'd absolutely pearled that.
%. But yeah, we'll get underway with a rerun of heat number 1 very shortly.
Let's hope it's not one of those nights, eh?
Hopefully not.
We had one of those nights on Tuesday. We don't want another one.
Oh, don't remind me. That was a long evening.
Yeah, it was,
I
wasn't
don't think I've financially recovered from the stress from that meeting.
it? So the rerun of heat number 1 with the disqualification of the rider in red, riding off gate number 1 in yellow will be Dan Thompson, gate 2 in blue Charles Wright, the lone Oxford rider, and gate 3 in white Emil Saivudanov.
I mean, without stating the obvious here, you've got to favour the witches for a heat advantage, really.
And I don't think Emil will make the same mistake of trying to run mid-track again. It looks like there's a bit of rain coming down there actually on the screen.
The start marshal walks away, then as we try again with heat number 1 here, and Emil has nailed that start. He's used the inside line, and he's got to the front first with Wright now there in the second position. Dan Thompson's going to battle now with Charles Wright to see if he can overtake him or undertake him to get that second position and give the Witches a 5-1. Emil out in front now. He's just extending his lead over Charles Wright at the moment. Obviously, no Rowan Tungate in this race as he is excluded. Well, Emil Saivudanov is a hell of a class in this league and proving why he's probably the best rider in the league, to be fair. But Thompson's still having a go on Righty now, but there isn't a great deal of grip in the mid-track lane where Thompson's riding, whereas Wright is just going a little bit wider. And if anything now, Wright is extending his lead over Dan Thompson. Emil Saivudanov doing Emil Saivudanov things, or at the moment he's going for a tapes to flag win and a well-deserved one, and that looked very fast with Wright in second and Dan Thompson in third.
Yeah, it was, as we said at the start there, Emil wasn't going to make the same mistake of going mid-track again. And he didn't. He got down to the inside and went round. There is rain coming down, you can see it on the camera. But the result of Heat 1, it was a win for the rider in white, Emil Saivudanov. Second in blue, Charles Wright. And third in yellow, Dan Thompson. Ipswich open up a 4-2 heat advantage to start the evening.
Yeah, a bit of a processional heat number 1 there, but you'd probably expect it with the track prep being prepped for a lot of rain.
Yeah, you know, if you pack it in, you do sacrifice that grip. You know, it looks slick, because obviously it's been packed in to take some rain, and you know, hopefully it'll provide some decent racing as the top surface comes off. But yeah, we'd probably expect a little bit of a processional opener, and let's hope this rain doesn't come down too much.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get some decent racing this time. Here's my man to watch for the Spires.
And after a difficult season last season with health issues, Eric Riss has come back with a point to prove this year. Not riding in the championship at the minute though.
No.
So the full lineup of heat number 2, riding off the inside gate in red is Eric Riss, gate 2 in white is Keenan Rue, gate 3 in blue is Ashton Bowden, and off the outside in yellow Jordan Jenkins, who rides for Oxford's National League team and his opposition here tonight in the Premiership. The Championship team, sorry.
I was going to say Championship, Bush. Championship.
National League was last year, weren't it?
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's as you know and I know, reserves can win your meetings, so this race can be pivotal for both teams.
And Ashton's been going well this season, probably better in the Championship than the Premiership. Obviously, the Premiership's another step up, but should be a good a good battle between the two Oxford Cheetahs riders off the outside two gates. Opposition
Oh,
tonight and then teammates tomorrow.
don't forget also Ashton just missed out on qualification for SGP2, which starts on tomorrow night actually. But Tapes has risen. Then on heat number 2, Eric Riss has nailed that start from the inside. Now Bowden goes really right, and Bowden's given up at the ghost at the back. So Eric Riss has the lead then, and he's been chased now by Jordan Jenkins. Does
That's
it look
been
like
stopped.
Keenan Roos? Oh,
It's been
stopped. It's been stopped.
It did look like Ashton Bowden was moving at the start there, but he was sort of at the back, so I don't understand why that's been stopped.
Neither do I.
Ashton definitely moves.
Oh, 100%.
And to be fair, he does make it to the first turn, but either those reds went on very late or the riders didn't see him until very late.
Yeah, it's one of them, but it's good to see 4 riders back in at the start.
Wonder if Ashton will have got a warning for that. He definitely moved.
Oh, clear as daylight.
And the reds do go straight on if you look in the background, so the fact that some of them didn't see him until bend 4 is a little bit worrying.
Maybe the referee didn't put the red lights on till late, or the track staff didn't put the red flags out till quite late.
From that camera angle we've just got, the red lights went straight on as soon as the riders went from the tapes. From that inside angle you could see the red light flashing behind the tapes. Although there was a question about this the other day at Plymouth, weren't there, when the reds went on, but riders maybe didn't see them. There was questions asked as to when they were tested.
I mean, it was quite sunny as well down at Plymouth.
Yeah, it was.
Like, that's always a big thing. If you can't see it, then no, it can always be down to sunlight.
And that's where having red flags on the centre green is vital, but you need, obviously you need to be able to see the red lights to put the red flags out.
100%. And we'll go again and now with heat number 2, and Eric Riss once again has made that start, and he's made a beautiful start. But Keenan Rue round the outside now. Can Jenkins do anything to get up the inside of Riss here? Not quite so. Currently, Witches on a 4-2. And yeah, Keenan Rue, I did say pre-meeting that Keenan Rue's going to be a massive, massive bonus for the Witches here tonight. And so far, he's proven it with Eric Riss there in the second position. Jenkins still in third, but Riss now looking to try the outside run over Keenan Rue. We've got a couple of laps left to go then, and Jenkins is closing in on Keenan Rue now. So it's going to be a big last lap battle of soz for this first place, as it's very, very close now between the first two. Riss goes really, really wide there, and it's not really helped him out that much as Rue's extended his lead a little bit. But Riss now just around the outside. Riss has done him. Riss has done him. Wow. What a ride for Eric Riss. I knew he was a ran. He was my. I knew there was a reason. He was my man to watch.
It was a good start. I was really concerned Eric Riss was going to do a carbon copy of what he did to Dan Bewley the other week when he got a bit of grip off the inside and went straight across. It was almost exactly the same as that on that first and second turn, but managed to get it under control. Keenan Rue just a little bit too defensive as well. So the result of Heat 2, it was a win for the rider in red, Eric Riss. Second in white, Keenan Rue, and third in yellow, Jordan Jenkins. Andy Dugmore's watching, what a fella. Story about Andy Dugmore. Got himself sent home from work today with an ankle injury. So, yeah, he's...
Perks of being self-employed, innit, and only want to work half a day.
I think he did that because he knew we had a watch-along.
I mean, I'd clock off from work early if I knew we had a watch-along.
Oh, I thought that was going to end in carnage then. And there is a lot of grip on the inside. Yeah, Keenan Rue's just too defensive.
Just needed to go a couple of balls and just go a little bit faster, a little bit wider.
And your man Adam Ellis coming round in white. And this is an interesting perk of the way Oxford have built their team with Matt Zajanowski now at number 4. And he looked a lot more on it in his last meeting here, getting paid double figures.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And you know, he's starting to find his feet now around Oxford. So it's going to be interesting to see how Mr. Janowski gets on here this evening.
So the lineup for heat number 3, going off the inside gate in white, is Adam Ellis. Gate 2 in blue is Matt Zajanowski. Gate 3 in yellow is the Ipswich guest Norwich Bladorn. And off the outside in red, it's my man to watch, Lewis Kerr.
Are meant to watch against each other.
We've got 4 people watching.
4?
Oh.
Hello, people. What are you doing here? But hello and welcome. Don't forget to bang some comments in, chaps and chapettes, and you know, if you identify as something else, then yeah, don't be afraid to get in the old chat. As the start marshal walks away for heat number 3, Adam Ellis has nailed that gate off the inside there, and it looks like the two Spires team rider, I nearly called them cheaters there. The two Spires are just team riding this to keep it a 3-3 as Bladorn's trailing off at the back. But Adam Ellis is holding the right line as he goes into the second lap, and he's building up a bit of a lead now over Lewis Kerr with Magic Janowski in the 3rd place position. Norwich Bladorn chasing Janowski here. And that was a dodgy 3rd and 4th bend there from Janowski there in 3rd. But Adam Ellis is showing the other 3 riders in this race a clean set of heels. Lewis Kerr doing a really decent job there in the 2nd position, and Janowski still in 3rd. Bladorn still chasing, but struggling to find any grip where at the part of the track he is riding at. But as I say, Adam Ellis is half a straight ahead. This is probably the best race I've ever seen him do, as he comes and takes the win. 1, 3.
Yeah, it was a good start from Adam Ellis there, and Matt Zajanowski was there in the initial stages, but just did not have any speed. Lewis Kerr on the outside, off that outside line. It's either inside or outside at the minute, but there's not quite as much grip on that outside line. So the result of Heat 3 was a win for the rider in white, Adam Ellis, 2nd in red, Lewis Kerr, and 3rd in blue, Matt Zajanowski. Makes the scores Oxford Spires 8, Ipswich Witches 10, with 3 heats gone.
Yes, it does. And as I said, you know, Adam absolutely nailed that gate. And Good just got to the right line at the first bend first, and that was it. He was away and gone.
I thought Janowski was binning that at one point on bend 3. I think he thought that as well, to be honest.
Can't lie, I did as well. It was quite a dodgy 3rd and 4th bend, wasn't it?
I think it was this lap, actually. Yeah, I thought he was going there.
There it was. Almost a carbon copy of Rowan Tungate in the original Heat 1.
Yeah. A little bit processional, but like we say, that's probably to be expected with the track being packed in so much. Hopefully the racing will get better as the meeting goes on.
Oh yeah, 100%. But Mr. Emil Seifutinov now out for his 2nd race of the day. He also won Heat 1 off this very gate, so...
I mean, it does make sense now as to why he was put in Heat 1.
It does. And here's Chris Harris, who's there talking to his mechanic, saying, go around the corner to Burger King. This is what I want. Don't get the other mechanic anything. No, he's not worked hard enough for a burger.
And Emil looked very impressive in Heat 1 as well.
He did.
At least Bomber's not got those horrible Ouija's bike covers on.
Oh, who come up with them?
So the lineup for heat number 4, there's a reserve change in yellow. Keenan Rue replaces Jordan Jenkins. The full lineup going off the inside gate in yellow is Keenan Rue. Gate 2 in blue, Ashton Bowden. Gate 3 in white, Emil Seifutinov. And off the outside in red is Chris Harris.
That it is, and the start marshal walks away, the tapes has risen, and it's Ashton Bowden that gets the lead initially going into the first bend, but Emil Seifutinov just round the outside, sweet as you like, and now there's a big battle at the back between Keenan Rue and Chris Bomber Harris. But Emil Seyfriednoff has the lead, and Ashton Bowden sitting there in second. Chris Harris now looking to help Ashton Bowden out here by team riding him. But Bowden goes that wide, he goes to Tesco around the corner and has now gifted Keenan Rue that third place position. Emil Seyfriednoff though, he's out, he's doing Emil Seyfriednoff things. He's going to go through the card now, I'm sure of it. He looks really, really, really fast in this one, as we've got 1 lap to go, I think. Yeah, 1 lap to go. Emil's out in front. This is quite a processional race, this. But Chris Harris is going to be sitting there in second, quite pretty, and Keenan Rue's going to come round in third. And that is what happens.
Does Ashton finish the race?
Probably not.
That was unlucky for Ashton there, because he made a really good start and just ran way too wide on that second lap, and that was all she wrote for him.
That was it, wasn't it?
So the result of heat number 4 was a win for the rider in white, Emil Seyfriednoff, second in red, Chris Harris, and third in yellow, the reserve change, Keenan Rue. Lines moving out really early on. It's very rare you'll see the line move so far out this early in a meeting.
Yeah, 100%. Now everyone's had a ride, and the track's going to start to come to the boys now. I do feel as though we are going to get a bit more of a race meeting now, because no disrespect to Oxford, because we like Oxford, well, the track anyway. It is starting to become a bit the first 4 races have been a bit full of the leader.
Yeah, I think we've only had 1 pass so far, and that was Eric Riss getting round Keenan Rue in heat 2. Emil Seyfriednoff looks very impressive though. Like you said, I'd be surprised if he doesn't go through the card now, although we don't really know how Rowan Tungate's performing yet, because he binned it in his first one.
Are they massive raindrops on Emil's Mechanics jumper, or are they just like nuts and bolts that are printed in the same colour?
No idea. Probably the former.
Could be.
So we've got Steve Brandon interviewing Chris Louis on the stream at the moment. Obviously we can't bring that because of copyright, but the scores after 4 heats, it's the Oxford Spires 10, the Ipswich Witches 14, and I think with that we'll take a quick breather for a minute while they do a little bit of track work.
That sounds like a good idea, that's And welcome back to our coverage of Oxford Spires versus Ipswich Witches, where the away team this evening currently lead 14 points to 10 after heat number 4. And that man is either really, really cold or it's raining because he's got his hood up.
While Chris Louis was talking, this is essentially what was said. Jason Dawes' operation went well and the specialists are happy. X-rays also revealed a broken thumb. They've also said they're working on a new rider. They've spoke to riders from overseas, but they're already set up with their schedules and it's difficult for them to commit to a different setup. We have to reluctantly rely on rider replacement, but we're pleased to have guests who have given us their time. Danny King is riding for Redcar tomorrow and hopefully he'll come through and ride for Ipswich next week. Rider replacement in Heat 5 in white is Adam Ellis. So the full lineup of Heat number 5, going off the inside gate in red is Lewis Kerr. Gate 2 in yellow, Dan Thompson. Gate 3 in blue, Matt Sayanovsky. And the rider replacement in white is Adam Ellis. A very impressive winner first time out.
Yeah, 100%. Can't complain with that ride out in heat number 3. And he is he's against the same two riders in which he beat in heat number 3, just off a different gate.
Yeah.
So I do see the sense in why Smiley Richie put him in, but hopefully, with a bit more of an outside line now. Now all the boys have had a race each.
The track,
very, very limited track work.
It doesn't look as slick as it did early on. There's a lot of footprints over it though.
Well, Start Mash had to go over the fence to go and get his sausage and chips.
Sausage and chips. Can always rely on food talk when watching a D&D media watch along.
Well, us, we're a couple of fat lads. But anyway, heat number 5 then goes, and it is a great start there from Dan Thompson in the yellow helmet, and Adam Ellis joins him round the outside. Now, Adam Ellis, I don't know where he's found this from, but Adam Ellis is about half a mile in front now with Dan Thompson fending off the challenge of Magic Janoski, who looks to come up the inside of Thompson now. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Lewis Kerr disappointedly down towards the rear of the field. Now, what can Dan Thompson do on Magic Janoski? Adam Ellis, he's checked out. He's gone. He's at the Premier Inn halfway up the road. The big battle is between second and third. Janoski now looking pretty settled in second, but Dan Thompson's not going to give up till that checkered flag. But Janoski starting to improve around this Oxford circuit. We've got one lap left to go then. Adam Ellis, I don't think I've ever seen him ride this good. I know I'm a big fan of his, but he's never ridden as good and as smooth as this. Another deserved win for Adam, and Magic coming round for a pretty comfortable second position there. As the Witches extend their lead.
And that opens up a tactical substitute option for Oxford as well. So I think I'm right in saying this is a league meeting.
I believe so.
The result of heat number 5, it was a win for the rider in white, Adam Ellis. Second in blue, Matt Sayanovsky. And third in yellow, Dan Thompson. Makes the progressive scores 12 to the Spires, 18 to the Witches. Problem is, where do Oxford use the tactical? Because you got Emil in this one, you got Adam Ellis in heat 7, you can't do it in heat 8. You got Emil in heat 9, Ellis in heat 10. So there's no easy races there.
Oh, no easy races. 11 maybe, I don't know.
Good pass by Magic there to get up the inside of Dan Thompson, who just decided that he wasn't going to, fight that massively hard. He's still beating his opposite number. And, Magic, he's starting to dial in around there now. I think it's probably a case of he brought very aggressive engines from Poland, which were never ever going to work on British tracks.
Oh no, 100%. Wonder if Dan Thompson's fully recovered from that illness of last week.
Yeah, that's true. Although he looked okay at Plymouth on Tuesday.
That he did.
Full lineup of heat number 6, going off the inside gate in white is Emil Saivudinov, unbeaten from 2 rides so far. Gate number 2 in red is Rowan Tungate, looking to complete his first lap after falling in heat 1. Gate 3 in yellow is Keenan Root, and off the outside in blue Charles Wright, who initially made a blinder of a gate in heat 1 before it was stopped and then lost out to Emil in the rerun.
He did.
You'd be forgiven for thinking that Rowan Tungate's bike covers were very, very similar to Ipswich's.
You would, to be fair, wouldn't you? It's they do look very, very similar. As we await the start marshal to bring the riders into order for heat number 6. We're on heat 6 already. Wow. Tapes has risen in, and it's a great start there for the rider in white, Emil Saifudinov, with Dan Thompson coming all the way around the outside there, giving the airfence a kiss. Oh no! Oh, right, he's gone down.
It's an exact carbon copy of Heat 1, but with the other rider going down.
And the race is going to be stopped. And this track, I don't know if it's just me, this track looks like it's getting darker and darker now. But any Redcar fans watching this will be concerned for Wrighty's fitness. He looks like he's holding his arm.
I think he's potentially just the same as Tungate in the first one, just a little bit winded, does it the deck quite hard. And Ipswich will be gutted with that because they'd done all the hard work to get onto a 5-1. Rowan Tungate nearly put Keenan Rue through the fence on the second turn, but Rue got round the outside, and Charles Wright's got it all wrong and pretty much did exactly what Rowan Tungate did in Heat 1.
Pretty much, sir, pretty much. But yeah, I wonder if Emma will be able to make that gate again off gate 1 into rerun.
And Emil, being back in British Speedway, is one of, if not the most stylish rider that are on these shores racing at the moment.
Oh, 100%. You know, he's got to be one of the best riders in the league, if not the best rider in the league at the moment.
Well, I think Freddie Lindgren will have something to say about that.
Well, when he gets going.
That could have been curtains in the first. He has got going, yeah. He's already debuted.
I forgot that. It feels like it's been a while.
Yeah, Charles Wright just straightened up a little bit and spun around. I don't think that was anything to do with the track either, to be honest. It does look like it's raining, though, because there's a lot of brollies up.
He just flopped up, didn't he? But
got a bit of a limp on there.
I'd sit tomorrow out, righty, mate. I'd sit it out. And then the week after as well, because I'm off to Redcar. And sit them two out, mate. You'll be fine.
And Adam Ellis is now talking to Steve Brandon. Obviously, we can't bring that, but he's going to be a man that's happy with his night so far.
100%. You know, it's not been recent where he's had 2 wins out of 2 so far, and although we did see him beat Ben Basso twice in Denmark yesterday.
And he was racing quite well there, actually, as well.
He was.
I think last season getting sacked from Sheffield was probably the best thing that could have happened to him. Seems to have focused him again.
I can't disagree. And he's back at a club where obviously he started off, and you know, I think Ipswich have sort of just put an arm around his shoulder and just be like, there's no pressure, just go out and enjoy yourself.
And you'll obviously always get the best out of a rider when they're enjoying it.
And you know, as many people know, I've got a lot of time for Adam. He's an absolute great guy, and he come out of his way once, right, to drop me back off home at Scunny from Sheffield because my train got cancelled. That's the sort of a legend that guy is.
What a fella.
So, bye Adam, mate.
And
bye, pal.
Riders coming back out. Track does look like it's getting wet.
That looks greasier than a kebab from a dodgy shop.
Looks a little bit ice skatey, that. Although I do think it's still okay wide, but yeah, will this be a case of just rushing through to heat 10 potentially?
I think it all depends how the next sort of couple of heats go. Obviously, the losing team on the night, if they believe the track conditions are unrideable, then they'll get the say.
And obviously,
Right,
when the losing team's the home team, it does open up a few questions.
yes.
So Charles Wright disqualified from the rerun. Rowan Tungate will be open. He makes a better start this time. Nearly ran over Emil's foot.
Justice Remmel's foot.
Emil will be open. He can make a start like that again. He didn't start the season the best, but has started to find his form now.
Yeah, 100%. And Fat Controller, sorry, Start Marshall walks away. Then heat number 6, we go again. And Emil filling off. Third time's the charm. He's absolutely nailed that start. He's got to the right line first, and he's checked out and
Tungate's
gone. And
packed
now,
up. No, he's not. He's just going really slow. Really slow.
Turns out he's going really slow. But yeah, Rowan Tungate looks very uncomfortable on that track. Actually,
It's gone.
And he's about to go again. No, not quite. This is a bit. I don't mean to sound disrespectful here, but this is not speedway. This, Emil's obviously out doing Emil things. He's about 3/4 of a lap ahead. We've got 1 lap left to go. It's a Witches 5-1. Emil's just out there and just riding pretty safe. I've seen better racing in practice sessions in winters, but yeah, this track's not right. White, yellow, and the other one. And it looks like that rain's coming down pretty heavy now.
I think Emil, started to worry a little bit about the track after the third lap. I think it looks worse on one view than the other. See, from that view it don't look too bad, but from the other one it didn't look great. The result of heat 6, it was a win for the rider in white, Emil Saivudanov. Second in yellow, Keenan Root, and third in red, Rowan Tungate, who looked like he could not give a toss.
You probably couldn't.
He didn't look comfortable when he came round to the tapes, to be honest, and he reminded me of like a second half rider.
Doesn't resemble that guy we know.
No, I thought he'd stop there, to be honest.
He did look like he was going to bin it there, didn't he? But it's one of them. Given the forecast, should they have started the meeting? I know it's all right prepping the track for heavy rain, but when it does come and you've got basically silly little mistakes like that, rider safety has to come into consideration.
Tungate's looking up at the referee there when Keenan Root comes past him. Oxford are having a meeting now. Do they maybe allow 15 minutes to see if the rain will pass and do a bit of work? It doesn't look like it's coming down that heavy, but I get the feeling that they're going to ask for this to be off. Adam Ellis is there and ready to go.
Yeah, Adam's ready and raring to go. But yeah, obviously Oxford being the losing team, as we mentioned, they do have the authority to have the referee come down and.
But then, if the referee deems it fit for riding, then they can't sort of overrule the ref. They can ask for an inspection, but the ref has to deem it's unrideable as well, and yeah.
It looks like Peter Schroep's going into the BSM booth. They'll be interested to see what gets said.
Do you want?
Chris
Should we
Harris
take a
is.
Should we take a quick minute and listen into this?
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. So just a little update with what's happening now. The rain is coming down, but promoter Jamie Courtney is doing some work on the track to get this in a rideable condition again.
Peter Schroet was basically saying that Ipswich want to carry on, obviously, and the Oxford team, want to put on a good meeting, so they're sceptical. They're going to try and get some track work done and see what happens, but the rain's coming quite heavy now. This gives me a little bit of a reminder of Birmingham a few weeks back when Leicester were there and it absolutely bucketed down, and Leicester riders were running out to the track because they were leading the meeting, and and Birmingham just sort of went along with it and lost quite heavily on that occasion. But the pits are soaking now. I don't see this going any further tonight.
I'd be very, very surprised if it did. Yeah, be very surprised if this meeting carried on. But obviously Big Jamie's out there doing work on the track, and I'm sure Peter Stroke will be on to phone to Christina, wanting a track inspection soon. It must be hard though for someone like Mr. Stroke to be on the losing side 2 days in a row. Got to be tough.
Are you preempting tomorrow? It's absolutely bucketing it down.
It is chucking it down there.
This is the rain that was forecast to come about 5 o'clock in Oxford. So I'm not surprised that it's come. It always ends up coming. Should we go back on a break while we listen to Richie
Yeah,
Hawkins?
go on then. So, hi again from D&D Media. Update, we've just had Richie Hawkins talk to us through the Power of BSN interview, who basically said, you know, the Ipswich riders want to ride. Obviously, the Oxford boys don't because they're losing. And it is absolutely throwing it down at the moment.
There's no saving that.
No.
Although,
The
I will give Ipswich their due. At Birmingham the other week when he did absolutely hammer it down before the meeting, and arguably the track was worse than this, and there was no complaints from Ipswich, and track work was done, and they just went out and attacked it, and we got 15 heats in.
medical staff looking like they're either popping for a quick break and a quick brew, or they're off home.
And obviously the fans are going to be even more annoyed by this now. You know, questions all day being asked. You know, is it going to be on and that, and you know, with Oxford obviously running 3 teams, there's very few dates available, and they'll want this called off because obviously the points won't go to Ipswich. But Ipswich will want to carry on, get to heat 10, take the points home. It's a long way to come for it to get called off after 6 races.
Yeah, man, 100% t-shirt coming soon. But yeah, you know, it is a tough predicament to be in if you're Oxford. But you know, I do have a gut feeling that they'll just they'll get the referee down and they'll be like, right, we'll just run till 8:10 and call it. And you know, that wouldn't surprise me. Steve Brandon's talking to
Himself?
himself. What a G. Getting some expert knowledge from
Steve
an
Brandon?
expert. Do you ever talk to yourself?
Oh, all the time. I'm the only person that gives me a sensible conversation.
Fair point. Fair point.
And Dan Thompson and Ashton Bowden just having a chat there. Jordan Jenkins and Bomber having a chat as well. Brave standing. It does look like the rain's actually stopped, or at least calmed down.
The BSN cameraman looking to go and film a bit of Ashton's bottom.
No, he's going to Bomber and JJ. It does look like it stopped raining, to be fair.
It does look like it's brightening up a bit there, so that gives us a bit of hope.
But then there's no track team out doing any work because the track team have gone into the pits with the medical staff.
Well, they probably just want a quick brew before they get out in tractor. Let me have a look on the old YouTube, see if we've got any comments. Don't be afraid, guys, if you are watching us.
Andy Dugmore said Dan Palmer for Prime Minister.
What a guy. Yeah, I'd make a lot of difference in this country. I'd certainly make sure decent people had Sky TV.
Hello, Rishi.
that's a starting point. Yeah, no. There's loads of stuff I would love to do as a Prime Minister, but unfortunately I am not politically minded or very educated to be able to do the job, which probably means I'm a perfect fit.
It has stopped raining, or at least baited off.
It's not chucking it down like it was. And Jamie Courtney's not got his hood up, so he's not prepared to get his hair damp.
Jamie Courtney's also not in his tractor though, so track work went well.
Not yet.
Yeah, track team aren't there. You got Hootie standing next to JJ, all the Oxford boys there, Jamie Courtney, Chris Libby. Norwick's got his helmet on, so he's ready to go. Peter Shrek's coming over.
Peter Shrek saying to his boys, "Oi, Scunny's my swamp tomorrow. Stay out of it."
It does look like it's brightened up a bit. It looks like the clouds have passed the stadium. It just
Yeah,
depends.
just a little passing shower.
It just depends whether the damage has already been done to the track. And obviously they are within their rights to ask for the ref to come down and have a look. But the ref will come down and you'll get 7 riders saying we don't want to ride, and you'll get 6 riders saying we'll go out and go to hit 10.
There's only one logical way to sort this out.
Flip a coin, heads you race, tails you pack up and go home.
Yeah.
That
It looks a bit wet, but if you've got like a B&Q or something up the road that's open till 9, pop and go get some sawdust and be fine.
We'll do a Plymouth and set it on fire.
Never forget.
Got 4 people watching. Oh, is Bomb at? Shall we mute up for a second?
Ruining Steve Brandon's interviews. Go on then. So we've just been given the heads up that tonight's meeting at Oxford has been called off, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, because the track is quite damp. So weather permitting, without trying to sound harsh, I hope we don't get the watch along tomorrow, because these will be albeit sunny scuddy. But if the weather that
Just checking Scunny's weather now. See what that's saying for tomorrow. Heavy showers at 12 and 1, and then dry. A shower at 6, and then a bit of a sprinkling at 7 and 8. 50-50 at the minute, I'd say, for that.
It's very, very touch and go. So if Scunny are not on tomorrow, we will have a watch along. We will cover Redcar versus Edinburgh.
The weather for Redcar for tomorrow, though, is telling us that that's changed. Heavy showers at 1 and 2, and then light sprinklings till 6, then dry from 6 onwards. And Redcar have got track covers, haven't they? So they could potentially get that on as long as it don't rain at meeting time.
So it looks likely that we'll probably be doing a watch along tomorrow to Redcar versus Edinburgh. We'll put all the details out as soon as we know. But for me, it's a very good night.